Hello, my dear students. Welcome to Clarity for SEO. Today, in this session, we will try to understand this recently released report by World Trade Organization (WTO). The report named is Global Trade Outlook and Statistics 2025. So, this report was published in the month of April, and we will try to understand each and every points, the component, the finding of these reports, the highlights mentioned in these reports. All right. So it is very important because it was there in the syllabus as well of your regulatory body that you need to cover those reports that is being published by various multilateral organizations. All right. So WTO is one of them, and this is one of the important report that from where you can expect questions in either in your phase 1 examination or phase 2 examination of RBI. All right. So you need to know all the highlights related to this reports. So let's try to understand this report with some images and all. And in the comment section, I want each and everyone whomsoever is going through this video, all right, they need to write some more reports in the comment section, which is being published by WTO. All right. Now, coming to the first point, like slide regarding the report summary. So, WTO Trade Outlook Report 2025. The report summary highlights the trade tensions that has been prevailed right now across the globe. Basically, the trade tension that is prevailing between USA and China. We are seeing a trade war between these two major economies, right? So, what are the impacts? That how it is going to impact overall the trade scenario of the globe? That has been highlighted in this report. All right, and we will also try to find out that how the trade tension between USA and China had impact, whether it is positive impact or negative impact over the Indian economy, whether it has positive impact or negative impact over the other low developed countries, LDCs, right? So these all things are being highlighted in this report. So let's cover one by one each and every points of this report. Now, the first one, uh, the WTO in its Global Trade Outlook and Statistics 2025 projects a slight decline in global mercantile trade. So it is talking that it has projected a slight decline in global mercantile trade, right? Driven by ongoing tariff tensions. So we have seen recently a reciprocal tariff has been imposed by US as well over the various countries, including India, right? So I want each and everyone to just comment in the comment section that what is the reciprocal tariff that USA, that Donald Trump has imposed over India. That you need to write down in the comment section. And after how many days it is going to be came into effective, right? After how many days it will be effective, it will be implemented. And right now, what is the baseline tariff? What is the baseline tariff over the Indian goods, right? That is being exported to USA. So this you need to write in the comment section. Baseline tariff imposed over the Indian products, right? So this report is highlighting that the because of these tariff tensions between the major economies, which is basically initiated by US after the second regime of Mr. Donald Trump, we have seen a notable tariff war between the two major economic blocs, that is USA and China. Right. The report underscores rising uncertainty in the global trade policy and warns of increasing risk of economic fragmentation. So it has also highlighted that there is a risk of economic fragmentation. So this word is there in this report. Okay, it is a summary of this report. So you need to understand that what is the meaning of economic fragmentation. How the economy is going to get fragmented under in this wake of tariff war. All right, this you need to understand that whether the world is moving towards the making the separate blocks, whether US is trying to make its country like US first policy, making USA as a implementing like protectionism type of policies, and you have also seen the meganomics term that has been coined by like US president, right? So what are those things? Are these steps, are they trying to move towards economic fragmentation? Because whenever we used to study about the economics, na, then we used to study it like a chain, right? So in economics, everything is interconnected. If something is happening in our country, something is happening in India, then it has a reciprocal effect on other countries as well, through which we have trade relationships. All right. So if any important development is going to be take place in US like major economy, right, then obviously it is going to affect the other countries, other major blocks like European Union countries. We can see its effect on various Asian countries, African countries, and Southeast Asian countries, European countries. So we need to try to understand that whether such type of policies that US is provoking as of now, is it going to lead some sort of economic fragmentation in the globe or not, right? Now coming to the next point, although merchandise export trade is expected to contract, trade in services may see modest growth. So we are seeing that although the merchandise is there. So merchandise means if there is like import and export for the goods only, that is called merchandise export or import. Means merchandise, whenever that you see the term merchandise, you just correlate it with goods. It is not related with services. All right. So we can see here the contraction in the goods trade. All right. But at the same time, we can see a expansion means we can see a modest growth, some sort of like it may be like slowdown. We can see a slowdown, a growth in services sector, but it will be in the positive edge. All right. The next point highlighted in the summary, WTO also cautious about growing recessionary pressures, particularly affecting the developing and least developed countries. All right. So WTO is also concerned about the recessionary pressures that uh, such type of trade policies can bring on, right? And it is going to affect basically the developing country like India and the least developed countries like various countries that is located in African region and various Southeast Asian countries as well. All right. And call for a strong international policy coordination to address the mounting economic vulnerabilities. So this is a call from WTO actually, that they are calling for a proper policy coordination between the various economic blocks, so that we can move away ahead to a brighter future. Means we can develop a very good sort of economic balance across the globe. All right. And such type of recessionary pressure can be tackled on. So it is very necessary that WTO is suggesting this, that we should move to a stronger policy coordination, right? Then projected global mercantile trade. This is the projected figure projected by WTO, that decline of 0.2% in 2025, and it could reach to 1.5% in further. Like we can see a continuous decline, which may broaden to 1.5% when the tariff war is will escalate. Escalate means US is imposing a certain sort of tariff with China, and in retaliation, China is imposing a retaliatory tariff to USA, right? So such type of, and these things actually escalate the things. Not only China, here it is there like Russia is also there. All right, Iran is also there. Canada is also there. India is also there. So in this area, there are lots of countries. All right. So one need to understand that how this tariff war is going to escalate the things, and how it is going to affect the overall global mercantile trade, means the trades related with the goods. All right. How it is going to affect. Now, coming to the reports. Now, let's try to understand the report in detail, what all being covered in this report. The first point related with the projected trade in global mercantile trade. So, let's try to understand. This is a figure taken from the WTO document itself. You can see here that what we have in earlier, in 2024, we have seen a mercantile trade volume by percentage. It was like 2.9% earlier, and it is like 2.9% as of now. And in case of 2025, we can see here that earlier it was that this was a projected one, that earlier it was, but currently we are seeing that it is like 0% in, so it got contracted by 0.2% in 2025. All right, and again see the projection in for 2026. The projection earlier it was for 2.9%, but now it had further inclined to 2.5%. So this is a projection for the upcoming year. All right. If the trade tension escalates further, the decline could worsen to 1.5%. So right now the decline is 0.2%, but if it will like escalate further, then we can see that this may lead to like 1.5%. This is the expectation. This is the highlights that is being published in the WTO trade outlook report. All right. This marks a significant shift from 2.9% growth recorded in 2020. This is the growth that had been recorded in 2024, and here is the growth as the negative growth minus 1.5% that may be recorded in 2025. All right. So these are the things highlighted, and you can also see the continent wise. In North America, it is like 9.6%. The imports growth in imports, it is in negative figure, means North America consisting like Canada, USA. All right. Europe, it is in positive trend is there, 1.9%, and in 2026 it is being expected that it will reach to 2.7%. In Africa, again 6.5%. Middle East 6.3%, consisting the various countries in Middle East like Saudi Arabia, Iran, Iraq, all right, Oman, Qatar. In Asia, means consisting China, India, Sri Lanka, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Afghanistan. So these are the countries, and we are seeing a positive trend in imports with respect to imports of 1.6% in 2025, and it will further increase to 3.8% in 2026. So this is a positive note for Asian countries. All right. Now coming to the next highlight, that is impact on tariffs on trade. US reciprocal tariffs could replace the global trade growth by 0.6% points. So this is one of the impact, that it could reduce the global trade growth by 0.6%. The reciprocal tariff that USA had imposed. Ongoing US-China tariff escalation in 2025 may lead to a further 0.8% point reduction in trade volume. Means overall trade volumes may reduce by 0.8% because of this US-China tariff escalation war. All right. Now, coming to these are two key highlights. Coming to the next, some highlights, like we have 6 to 7 highlights represented over this slide. Now, see here the third one, global service trade out. That's how the tariff tension, how the tariff war is been going to impact the services sector. That we will understand, and as of now, how it had impacted. So you can find out over here that services trade is projected to grow by 4% in 2025, slower than the previous expectation. The previous expectation is higher, but right now but at least the service sector is going to perform in a positive state, right? So we are not seeing a negative growth in service sector, rather a positive growth in services sector, unlike the negative growth that we have seen in the merchandise sector. All right. Then the second point is spillover effects of the goods. Obviously, whatever the effects that is happening with respect to the goods trade, it will obviously have a spillover effect that is going to affect negatively to the service sectors. All right. So it is going to negatively affect the services sectors. Transport and travel services are particularly impacted. So these services are going to get impacted because of this tariff war. Right. Coming to the next highlight, regional trade performance. How different regions are going to perform. North America, we have seen we can see a sharp decline of 12.6% in North America. Asia, we had expected like an increase. Both projected export growth rate for Asia is like 1.6%, and for Europe it is 1%. All right, you can use these facts in your answers as well, in your descriptive answers. Now you just try to memorize some of the key facts in order to get add-ons in your answers, I will suggest you to use such type of full facts because of such type of important reports that is being published by WTO itself. All right. So these things, at least some of the facts you need to put in your answers in order to get extra marks. Right. Coming to the next slide, let's see some two more highlights over here, that how this trade outlook, trade scenario is going to impact the it has impact over the least developed countries. So how it is vulnerable, right? So LDCs are most vulnerable because of these are highly exposed due to limited export diversions. See, LDC countries like Somalia, okay, and Sudan, these are some LDC countries. They don't have export diversification. Means they don't have uh, their export is not diversified. All right, they are not exporting a lots of countries, so they will be affected because of such tariff war. All right, so they are most vulnerable. Trade disruptions threatens the economic stability of these nations. Yes, they can threaten the economic stability of such type of LDCs, least developed countries, right? Now, trade diversions due to US-China tensions. What the trade diversions? See here you can also understand that how it is going to impact the economic instability in LDCs. See, export diversion is very less. Dependence on few markets is there. They are dependent. Such type of countries are dependent on few markets only because they have less diversification in the export. They have limited project range in terms of imports as well as exports. They, in terms of economic policies, these least developed countries, they are somewhere they are lacking of their state fund. Means they are they would lack to invest in the various capital projects, capital assets. Okay, and they also are being they are also getting hunted by inadequate infrastructure, not proper sewage line, not proper power plants, all right, not proper infrastructure, including road, bridges, communication type of infrastructure that would push transportation facilities, hospitalization. So various things are getting already they are downtrodden, already they are like most affected nations, and because of this tariff war, they will be affected further. All right. So it may lead to disruption in supply chain, obviously, because of poor infrastructure, geopolitical instability. Obviously, they will not find a proper market to export or import, and it will means in short, it will lead to trade disruptions. All right, and these are some of the external factors there that is actually collectively working in such type of trade disruptions that had a that will have a negative impact over the least developed. Now, coming to the sixth point, trade diversions due to US-China tension. So, after this tension, we can see a diversion in trade. So, Chinese exports to non-North American regions may increase by 4%. Since North America region is banning Chinese imports, that is increasing tariffs over the Chinese imports. The US, the major part of North America, obviously. So they will try to look, the China will try to link the other markets, the European markets, the Southeast Asian markets, the South American markets, right? So the Siberian countries market, African market. So they will try to diversify their trade. All right. They will try to look after some new trade avenues. So we can see the Chinese export can increase by 4 to 9% in non-North American regions. US imports from China are expected to decline. Obviously, it is expecting because China has also imposed a retaliatory tariff over the US product, creating opportunities for alternate suppliers, including the least developed countries. But least developed countries have their own issues like inadequate infrastructure, inadequate supply chain infrastructure, lack of funds, lack of supports, lack of FDI funds. So they have their own limitations, but still we can expect that it can open a like gate for LDCs, and if you will look in the optimist manner, then it can create an opportunity for these LDCs to find out the new markets, and they can use this crisis as an opportunity. All right. Now, coming to the next slide, two more highlights we can see from this slide. The seventh highlight is economic risks and NABARD's warning. So NABARD forecasted global GDP growth, and I want each and everyone to write it in the comment section the headquarter, where the headquarter of WTO and NABARD is located. That I want each and everyone to write down in the comment section. All right. Now, NABARD forecasts the global GDP growth at 2.3% in the year 2025. This was the forecasted global GDP growth, indicating recessionary risks. So, it is actually indicating that we are moving towards the recessionary type of risk. Developing economies remain more vulnerable to shocks, to shock from trade fragmentation and geopolitical tensions. These are the highlights that is being highlighted by NABARD in its report. All right, with respect to global trade protection, and with respect to the India's position in global trade, it is very important for our examination to quote as an example, to quote in answers actually, that what is the position of India in global trade. So let's try to understand through this diagram as well, that in terms of merchandise exports, we had like 14th rank with stable share at 2.2%. All right. So we had maintained the rank of 14th as per the WTO Global Trade Outlook 2025 report. And in terms of merchandise import, means in terms of import, our rank is 7th, having a share of around 3.4%. All right. So this is the share of 3.4%. Okay. Commercial services exports, rank declined to 6th, share slightly down from 5.4 to 5.3%. So in terms of commercial services exports, our rank actually declined to 6th. And in terms of commercial services imports, our rank remained unchanged at 6th, although we have seen a slight decline in the share from 4.2 to 4.1%. All right. So this is the overall trade scenario of India with respect to the global trade. Okay. And it excludes actually intra-European Union trade. Now, so these are the informations highlighted in this report. Now I want each and everyone to just jot down the important facts that had been covered in this report in order to revise before your examination, so that at least you have some valuable information to inculcate in your answers. All right. Now, coming to one practice questions I have given over here, and I expect each and everyone to answer in the comment section the correct answer of this statement according to WTO Trade Outlook and Statistics, which is the following statement is correct. So 5 statement is given over here. You need to identify which one is correct. All right. So that's all for today, my dear students. So if you have any sort of questions with respect to this WTO report, you can ask, or if you are satisfied enough with all the findings of this report, and if you find this information enough for your examination, then just hit like button, subscribe our channel, follow us on our Telegram handle, all right, at the rate Telegram Clarity for Show, and don't forget to visit our recent initiative of daily current affairs that is being uploaded on daily basis on Clarity for Show courses.in. All right, thank you very much. Have a nice day.